Deshaun.
Deshaun. Please sign my shirt. Can I have a picture with you?
Training camp competition between him and Deshaun Watson has gotten next level. A lot of people wrote Shedeur off. Look, I really enjoy this film. Okay, it's just training camp film. It's going to matter what the game says, but he's putting his best foot forward, and he has made this competition really, really interesting. I personally think they should probably go with Shedeur Sanders as their starting quarterback to start the 2026 season. Remember, like, subscribe, comment. Let's get into it. Welcome.
Nobody saw this coming. Not the Cleveland media, not the national NFL analysts, and definitely not the people who spent the last 12 months writing Shedeur Sanders off. Because one training camp practice just exposed everything. One rep, one throw, one drive. Simple enough to miss it if you blinked, but shocking enough to flip the entire quarterback conversation in Cleveland upside down. They said he wasn't ready. They said the pocket was too fast for him. They said Deshaun Watson's job was safe. But what happened next exposed a gap in that story so wide, even longtime Browns insiders couldn't ignore it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why Cleveland might be looking at a quarterback controversy nobody predicted.
Exactly what he does. And you can see here, and Shedeur has a top camera on him, and that camera is meant to see what Shedeur sees. So you can go in to training camp and with the coaches, look at where Shedeur's eyes are. Okay, so a couple things. We're going to break down the play, but we're also going to break down his drop and everything. He's got right foot up forward. There's a 2-by-2 formation. It looks like the Browns are in a cover 2 defense. So what you have here is, I think that's Boston on the outside running a circus route. So what a circus route is you push in 5 yards, up 10 to 12, and break it out depending the distance and coverage, 18 to 22 yards. And then you have a tight end running to the out route. Okay, they're sort of matching up right here where they want to go, and the back is a check down. So what Shedeur does, he's able to find.
Let's start with the number that's already breaking the internet. Through training camp, tracked and confirmed, Shedeur Sanders has thrown 0 interceptions. 0. Deshaun Watson already on the board with picks. Now, before you say it's just camp, hold on, because here's where things get crazy. It's not just the clean stat sheet, it's how he's getting there. Coaches are pointing a camera directly at Shedeur's eyes in practice. Not his feet, not his release, his eyes. Why? Because they want to know exactly what he's seeing before the ball even leaves his hand. And what they're seeing is a quarterback who suddenly looks like he's been doing this for 10 years. Think about that for a second. Coaches don't waste resources tracking eye discipline on a quarterback they've already given up on. You track eyes when you think there's a franchise arm attached to them. That alone should tell you something. Because in year 1, the story was different. In year 1, people said his eyes stayed locked on one side of the field. People said he was predictable, easy to defend, easy to bait into bad throws. Now, the tape is telling a completely different story. Picture this: 2-by-2 formation, cover 2 look from the defense, pressure creeping off the edge. Most rookies panic here. Most second-year guys under this kind of heat start bailing the pocket early. Shedeur doesn't move. 1, 2, 3 steps, a quick hitch, and then he drills it, fits the ball into a window that wasn't supposed to be there. That's not a check down. That's not a bailout throw. That's a quarterback trusting his eyes, trusting his line, and trusting himself. Now, run that same rep back one more time in your head. Quarter route breaking outside, safety sitting deep, daring him to force it. A cornerback in that cover 2 shell just waiting to jump the sideline throw. And Shedeur doesn't panic. He doesn't force it into traffic. He puts it in the one window where only his guy can catch it. That's not luck. That's anticipation, built on reps, built on trust, built on a quarterback who finally believes what the coaches have been telling him all camp. And that's not even the most shocking part.
Line of scrimmage, hey, I have way more comfort level at the line of scrimmage. I have way more say in who goes in motion and what happens. It's just overall, I mean, imagine what the Ravens offense looked like. They were 11 personnel, spread it out, see the field, get into formations, do these shifts and motions. They're bringing pressure right here. And Shedeur's able to step up and launch this. It looks like another out route. So it just looks to me like they're throwing a bunch of different out routes. It's a 2x2 formation where 84 is going to clear out, and they're running a flat route with the running back and a corner route called a flutie. And he's able to dot this guy before 11 gets to him.
Here's where the hypocrisy starts creeping in. For a full year, the media painted a picture. Shedeur can't read defenses. Shedeur locks on to one receiver. Shedeur isn't an NFL-level processor. But watch the tape from this camp. 2x2, then 3x1, motion left to right, defense shifting to answer it. And Shedeur isn't just reacting, he's diagnosing man coverage before the snap, based on how the defense reacts to motion. That's not raw, that's not unprepared, that's advanced quarterback processing, the exact thing they said he didn't have. So now ask yourself something uncomfortable. If a different quarterback with a different last name put up a 0 interception camp while making these reads, would the story already be different? Would ESPN be running highlight packages instead of skepticism? Would the debate shows already be calling him QB1 instead of the developmental project? That's not this video calling anybody out by name. That's just a question worth sitting with. Because right now, the tape says one thing, and a lot of the noise around him is still saying another. Now pay attention to this, because this is the part almost nobody's talking about. It's not just what Shedeur is doing with the ball, it's what he's doing before the ball is even snapped. Reports out of camp describe him getting more comfortable at the line of scrimmage, more control over motions, more command of the huddle. That's the quiet stuff, the stuff that doesn't trend on social media, but it's exactly what separates a backup from a franchise starter. Command, ownership, the room listening when he talks. And in Cleveland, of all places, a city that has burned through more quarterbacks than any franchise in modern NFL history, that kind of command is worth more than any highlight throw. Think about everything this fan base has been through. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson's rocky tenure, years of maybe this is finally the guy that ended in disappointment. So when a young quarterback starts showing command of the huddle, not just talent, but leadership, that hits different in Cleveland than it would anywhere else. Because Browns fans aren't just looking for arm talent anymore. They're looking for somebody the locker room believes in. And right now, according to people around the building, that belief is starting to build around Shedeur. Let's get into the film, because the film doesn't lie. Todd Monken's offense, the same style of system that fueled Lamar Jackson's MVP seasons in Baltimore, is being run through Shedeur right now. Spread formations, full field progressions, timing routes that demand anticipation, not arm strength alone. And what's the tape showing? A quarterback delivering the ball before receivers even finish their break. A quarterback throwing with anticipation into tight coverage, dropping dimes over linebackers into honey holes only elite processors can find. His footwork isn't perfect yet. Even the coaches point out he's dropping too low in his base on certain reps. But here's the part that should scare the rest of the AFC North. The flaws are correctable. The instincts are not. You can coach a lower center of gravity. You can't coach anticipation. You can't coach pocket poise under a free rusher. Shedeur already has those. Look at the rep where the blitz comes free off the edge, offensive line completely out of sync, a defender basically untouched, bearing down on him. Most young quarterbacks bail. Most young quarterbacks throw the ball away or take a sack trying to avoid the hit. Shedeur climbs the pocket, resets his feet, and delivers a strike, right on time, right in rhythm. That's the kind of rep that doesn't show up in a highlight reel, but it's the exact rep that scouts and coaches replay over and over, because that's the difference between a backup and a franchise quarterback.
This is just really good, solid quarterback play. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment. I'm super excited to hear what you have to say about this quarterback competition. I think it's Shedeur Sanders based on this film. Look, Deshaun Watson has thrown some interceptions. Shedeur has thrown 0, at least what we have for stats or made up stats, whatever it is, through training camp. ESPN Cleveland's doing a really good job of tracking it. I think he gives them his best foot forward. I think this Todd Monken offense really fits Shedeur Sanders' skill set, sort of similar to what he did at Colorado. Thank you so much for watching the breakdown. Really appreciate you.
And what happened next left Browns fans stunned. Analysts who spent all offseason defending Deshaun Watson's roster spot are suddenly hedging. Fans who wrote Shedeur off after draft night are now flooding comment sections asking the same question. Wait, is he actually better right now? Because here's where the media's argument completely falls apart. You can't call a quarterback not ready while he's out there posting a perfect camp, reading full field progressions, and getting praised by his own position coach for how much more comfortable he looks compared to year one. That's not a maybe. That's not a we'll see. That's a quarterback quietly forcing his way into a conversation people tried to keep him out of. And here's the thing that should really worry the doubters. He's not doing this with pads on yet. He's not doing this against a live pass rush, trying to actually take his head off. This is training camp tempo, controlled reps, scripted looks, which means the real test is still coming. But if this is what not fully live Shedeur looks like, what happens when the lights actually come on in week 1? So let's lay it out plainly. 0 interceptions through camp. Full command of Todd Monken's system, advanced pre-snap reads that were supposedly a year away, a completely different level of comfort in the pocket compared to last season, and a growing wave of doubt, even from the people who doubted him first. This is bigger than one training camp. This is bigger than one quarterback battle. This is about a city that has been burned so many times by quarterback promises, suddenly seeing something that feels different. Not hype, not headlines, film, reps, results. And results are exactly what put pressure on a coaching staff that has to make a decision soon. Because at some point, it's just camp stops being an excuse. At some point, the tape has to matter more than the narrative. And right now, the tape is screaming something the whole league is starting to hear. Whether you love Shedeur Sanders or you still don't trust him, one thing is becoming impossible to deny. Every single time they wrote him off, every time they said he wasn't ready, every time the noise got louder than the tape, he kept showing up. He kept getting better. He kept giving people a reason to believe. And in a league that chews up young quarterbacks and spits them out before they get a fair shot, that kind of quiet, relentless improvement might be the most dangerous thing of all. Cleveland wanted a quarterback controversy. Shedeur Sanders might be about to give them one. If you want to see how this quarterback battle plays out, and trust me, it's about to get a lot more interesting, smash that subscribe button right now because you do not want to miss what happens next.